Hi, it is the Human Operating System time. This channel is for educations and technology. So recently I have shared the 3 levels of proficiency, namely the proficiency of handling the basic impulse momentum, proficiency of handling the setups, proficiency of handling the counter attack impulse momentum. All this proficiency is handling of the impulse momentum. And one need to know that as soon as it is a martial art, one has to have this 3 levels of proficiency. Without the 3 levels of proficiency trained, one really do not practice martial arts. Many of us today thinking, oh, if I practice some kinds of internal sets, or push hand, or chi sao, or these techniques, that techniques, or wooden dummy, that we think that we have practiced martial art. Actually, that's not. Unless one have this 3 levels of proficiency, one really do not practice martial arts, because one really have no handling of this thing, which is you need it in the fighting. So that's why without the training of the 3 levels of proficiency, one will not be able to function under pressure. One don't even have to test it. As soon as one knows that one have never trained that way, there's no way one can handle the pressure. Traditional Chinese martial arts, there is no such thing as internal. There's only whether one have comprehensive training or not. As in my book, Wing Chun Inception, the common denominator and the boundary of traditional Chinese martial art is mapped in this each model. The 3 levels of proficiency belongs to the Zone 3 to Zone 5 training. And all the rest, the Qi Sao, the push hand, the Fa Jing, whatever, and the Qi Gong is only from Zone 2 and under. So one must not mistake that due to one do something in Zone 2, one be able to play in the upper zone. That is the reason why you see a few years ago the internal art Lei Lei couldn't even compete with our friend Xi Xiaodong in MMA. Because in MMA it really trained from Zone 2 up. Okay, Zone 2 upward. MMA doesn't have the Zone 1 and this recovery, deep into this, because sports science do not have this content yet. Okay, but MMA have from Zone 2 up to the Zone 5. So one need to know where one stand. Don't expect any kinds of magic power on those kind of stuff. And like today, all these things, like from the the recovery to Zone 2, we can verify with the scientific, the heart tracker monitor, SpO2. As from the Zone 3 to Zone 5, we can verify with the VO2 max and all kinds of gadgets when it comes to strength. Because you have in the Zone 3 and above, you have the strength, the power which is meaning doing the strength, having the strength, execute the strength in the fastest time, the shortest period of time. So you have strength and you have the power, and then you have the movement, where you'll be able to handle your movement, be it lay on the ground or jump up into the sky, into the air, okay? So those are zone 3 and above type of training. And for this, if people claim that they have this internal force or anything, well, you can measure it today. You see that thing, I can measure how much strength I apply. And I can measure the peak, or how long I can sustain that strength that lead to the muscle or muscular endurance. In a real fighting, one need the muscular endurance. So if you play form solo, you push hand solo, it is never get up to that proficiency. It's good for workout. That's why in China today you can see, even in the one of the TV programs, they say, well, Chinese martial art today is for workout, exercise, not for fighting. The reality is that as soon as one not training in the 3 proficiency, one cannot do the job. So with this, with all this gadget, one can know whether how well or what is the degree what one can perform in terms of breathing, in terms of strength generations, in terms of endurance. Today's world, with the science gadgets, one cannot cover up. One cannot say, well, if I train this, I have internal power. Well, if you have internal power, you have to be able to show it here and show it with all this skill to the minimum. Okay? So that has to be really clear. Now, as in other video, if one is not trained in the 3 level of proficiency, how are one going to handle the basic impulse momentum when 2 persons interact in high speed with power? And then on top of that, the second level of proficiency, where 2 people will have to set up each other to play the impulse momentum. The top will be counter-attack. Without that training at all, there is no martial art there. You cannot say, well, I train the sets. It is internal. Have to be slow, has to be soft, and you get internal power. You can train that forever. You'll never get into the 3 proficiency or 3 level proficiency because you don't know them. And also, you have never trained that way. Well, so in the past 3 years, where people who train in the slow, internal, mind power, all this thing, when they go face up with the MMA player like Xi Xiaodong, all broken apart. Why? Because it's 2 different things. And in the ancient 1850s Xu Lim Tao, again, as I put in the Wing Chun Inception book, you have that, the entire thing, the 3 level proficiency zone, and then the lower zone where you have a workout, you have Qigong, you actually be able to activate your different neuromuscular, not proficient yet, but this just activate it so that be able to handle it. Like usually when we do exercise, we do not involve a lot of strength, but just activating the muscle to make sure that we know how to use the muscle. Well, most of the traditional Chinese martial arts and the Qigong today is just doing that. So it never means it is a traditional Chinese martial art. And also, most of the sets practice did not get into the Qigong, because Qigong require the lower abs breathing, the accomplishment of that. And again, as in the H model, if one accomplishes that, one need to be able to verify with heart rates, SpO2. And on top of here, you be able to verify with the VO2 max. And so with the VO2 max, with the heart rate variability, with all this gadget, one practically can know where one is when one practices the ancient Wing Chun. Because now, as in the Wing Chun Inception, it already mapped into here. In the H model, this one page covers the common denominator of all ancient Chinese martial arts. Nothing can get out from that. Okay, so this is how clear we have now. And as for the breathing, as in the Wing Chun matrix, it is there. All the details. Again, it can be verified by scientific instruments. Now, without knowing this, it is a disaster. Because without knowing this, we really don't know what we are doing. So, with what I shared yesterday and today, hope that we all know where do we stand. If I never practice the 3 levels of proficiency, well, don't call it a martial arts. If one practice Qigong, then make sure to get your heart rate variability and heart rate performance checks. So see whether you really get that or not. So only this way one can really get result. Otherwise, is one can go around and around based on hearsays. Okay, so this is very important. And without this type of clarifications and analyze and systematically form a model for it, we really do not know how to proceed with this traditional Chinese martial arts. Because traditional Chinese martial art is not based on, oh, this family said that, that grandmaster said that. We need to know the content. We need to know how to get there. We need to know what, why, how. Otherwise, nobody knows what it is. And then one cannot just say, oh, yeah, I know. The reason why Xi Xiaodong defeat the Tai Chi practitioner is because of this reason, that reason, and somebody even in the, like when Xi Xiaodong defeat that the Wing Chun practitioner, they're saying that, oh, they are hungry, they don't eat enough. You know, it just go off topic. We need to look into it, say, like with the H model, where are we? So hope that this clear everything out. It is very critical to know, do we practice that 3 level of proficiency? Without that, we are not practice martial arts.